Live and in action. Thursday. Charge my phone here. Okay. So, it's your boy Sutton Def. I'm going to go ahead and open up the sunroof. It's your boy Sutton Def, Purple Rain Podcast. Your favorite Ravens fan, hopefully. I'm just here today to talk about Thursday night football, share some of my thoughts ahead of tonight's Bengals at Ravens matchup. Kicks off at 8 p.m. on Amazon Prime. Yeah, that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm going to wait until some of the Rain Gang trickles in here. I want to mainly get you guys' thoughts, you guys' questions, comments, concerns. And if you're a Bengals fan, you're watching this, just know I am a Ravens fan, but I love Joe Burrow. I'll say that. And I like to speak, equally from both sides. Most of the time, at least. Most of the time. Let's see. Zach White in the building. Yo, says I got work 5 to 9. Damn. That sucks, bro. That sucks. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually just getting off of work, cruising on home, as y'all see me here. Y'all don't normally see me in a shirt and tie. But, yeah. We're here. So, like I said, again, tonight's game, Bengals at Ravens, is going to be an interesting one. I've been listening to a lot of people around the internet, on YouTube, even on national media. I like to get all opinions, right? Um, everybody's kind of saying that this should be a close one. I don't see a lot of people saying that it's going to be a blowout either which way, which I agree with, man. I'm my final score prediction for this game. I'm gonna probably go. I'm gonna go like, ooh, it's a tough one, y'all. It's a tough one. I'm gonna go 26-23. I'm gonna go 26-23. Ravens. You know what? No. You know what? Let me go 29-20 Ravens. I'll go 29-20 Ravens. Yeah, I think that sounds a little bit better. Ravens win by 9, which is still a pretty good margin, but yeah, it's going to be a good-ass game. That's all I know. Let's go Ravens. That's right, Kareem. Appreciate you for coming through. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe as well. Don't do a whole lot of lives like this, but I'm thinking I maybe should start, right? I was thinking about also doing like a live podcast in the mornings. I think that would be pretty cool. So, maybe comment down below. I don't know if you'd like to see that, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. But thoughts, okay. So what needs to happen in this game for the Ravens to walk away with a W by about 11 p.m. tonight? I'm going to say this. Running the football should be the number one priority. And running the football effectively, efficiently, and consistently should be the key to victory in this one, if you're asking me. So that means that Gus Edwards and Keaton Mitchell, 10 carries each. Okay, 10 carries each. We're going to have to test that Bengals defensive line. Like we're gonna have to test it because we know that they have a weaker run defense right now. The run defense is in the lower echelon of the league, and I feel like we could take advantage of that with everything that we offer in the run game. And obviously, since the Bengals are a divisional opponent, it's going to be tougher just naturally, right? Because they kind of know, the basics of our offense, what we like to do. I mean, they've already seen us once this season, right? And that's always tough coming into a second matchup against a divisional opponent. Because not only do they know you so well in general, they know you from what you just did a couple weeks ago. We kind of saw it with the Browns. The Browns were kind of able to quickly adapt to our game plan, slow us down offensively, ramp themselves up offensively, and it was kind of a tale of two halves, to be honest with you, in that game. Hopefully, this game is not the same. But it's going to come down to, I think, a lot of coaching, right? Coaching is going to be a huge thing for this game. It's going to be a huge factor. If the Ravens can consistently, effectively, and efficiently run the football, then yes, I believe the Ravens will comfortably win this game. And like I said, I think in order for that to happen, that looks like Gus Edwards getting 10 carries. That looks like Keaton Mitchell getting 10 carries. And hell, I don't care if Keaton Mitchell starts getting hot, ride the hot hand. Listen. If nothing else, I know there's no Ravens coaches listening right now or watching. That's okay. But what I'm telling you is that the Ravens ride the hot hand when it comes to who's rushing. If Keaton Mitchell is back there and he's breaking off run after run after run, Okay, I need to see him in on the next drive. Okay, I need to see him in and running again on the next drive. Make the defense prove that they can stop that kid. Because so far, I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it. I know he had a carry for a loss last week, but I mean, that should not have been his final carry. You know what I mean? I can't be the only one who agrees there. I mean, I think he finished with 3 carries. 3 carries last week for 32 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he's got a touchdown in every single game that we featured him in as a running back. Every single game. So I just I don't really see why they're trying to, wait so long to ramp him up. I mean, hell, would it be different if he would have caught that ball in the end zone last week? Which, me personally, I told all of my buddies who I was watching the game with, I don't mind a running back dropping a deep ball, right? Like I don't mind that. The fact that he was able to get open and be in position to catch that ball, even just to begin with, is amazing to me, at least. Undrafted free agent, rookie, like he's doing a lot of big things, and he hasn't lost the football yet. Most importantly, right? Kid has not fumbled yet. With that being said, he needs to be contending, at least contending for that RB1 spot. I think it's only fair. You know, I watch a lot of in our case here. You deserve contention for a title shot. And in this scenario, I'm kind of relating this analogy to UFC, but bringing it back to football, Keaton Mitchell, he deserves his title shot for that RB1 position. He does. He does. I mean, 2 touchdowns in 2 games and what? Almost 200 yards rushing. You cannot argue that. You can't argue that. Like, just period. So if Keaton Mitchell gets anything under 8 carries, now context matters. So look, if it's a blowout, God forbid, right? Across my fingers, and he gets kind of game scripted out of the game plan, then sure, I understand that. But if this is a close divisional matchup, like I expect it to be, make sure that Keaton Mitchell gets at least 8 carries. Because you saw what he gave us when, he had, what was it, 9 carries a couple of weeks ago, 138 yards and a touchdown. Come on, man. Give the kid more opportunities. He's earned it, to say the least. I love Gus Edwards. I do, but, you know, these other teams, they know Gus Edwards. You know what I mean? Especially our divisional opponents. They know Gus Edwards. They know his game. There's really you don't get the same home run ability, right? And I felt like a lot of what was happening last week, we stopped running Keaton Mitchell. And, we just weren't able to produce on offense the same way that we were earlier in that game, and we lacked the home run ability when Keaton Mitchell is not on the field at the running back position, at least. So that's another reason why the defense got so tired. Defense got so tired last week because we were constantly putting them back on the field because the offense had, no home run ability. Right? Like we couldn't break off anything big, and we couldn't stay on the field. We weren't driving down the field. We weren't getting chunks like that. So it's just, if we can establish that run game early and often, I expect in the first Ravens drive for Keaton Mitchell to have a carry. I expect for them to introduce him to the Cincinnati Bengals defense early, and that's what needs to happen. That's key to victory number one. Key to victory number two, I would say Shaw Bateman is one of those guys who is having he's having a good season, not stat wise, but in terms of what he does on the field. There's been some plays where, I've I'm on record saying that, he's given up, the effort hasn't been there, but the guy gets open, the guy gets separation, and there are stats to prove that. Literally, quite literally, the guy gets separation. So I think that we need to get him involved. I mean, he's going to be going up against some cornerback threes, right? I mean, especially with Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham Jr. working his decoys. You got Mark Andrews who's going to be sucking up the middle of the field. So it's just Rashad Bateman. He's just there, former first round pick, just there, one-on-one coverage most of the time. Get him open, get him the football. I think Lamar knows that too. In the comments section. Bear with me while I am on the road here. Let's see. Defense needs to stop the Bengals offense on first and second down. Yes, yes. And now, I'm happy you brought that up, Kareem, because I think that we're going to see a much better Joe Burrow, a much better performing Joe Burrow in this game. Um, and he's not going to be as limited as he was running. He didn't want to run, right? If he really really needed to, he would try, but he wouldn't get very far. So that element of his game, his escapability, was compromised. Tonight, it's not compromised. He's back to being maybe not 100% on that calf, but I would say at least like 80 or 90%. And hell, that's all you really need to get out there and perform, especially for some of these professional guys. But yeah, we're going to see a much better Joe Burrow. So on first and second down, I expect him to mix up the play calling a lot more, giving Joe Burrow a little bit more freedom, more throws on first and second down. And so we're going to have to deal with that. We're going to have to deal with that. It's not going to be as easy or as predictable as it was in the past weeks where, we kind of knew what we were going to get out of Joe Burrow. He was going to take his three-step drop, make his reads. We didn't really have to worry too much about him escaping the pocket. As long as our DBs could cover, which they did for the most part, we would be fine. And ultimately, we did end up being fine. Now, let me say this to everybody watching. I know that the Ravens beat the Bengals in, what was it, week 2, 3? I can't remember which week it was exactly. And the sun's kicking my ass a little bit. But I can't remember which week it was exactly that we beat them. But the way that game was going, the game script did not just tell you that the Ravens were dominating that football game. The Ravens started off well, yes. And then, I think it was right around the halftime mark, whether it was right before halftime or right after halftime, they started to come back on us. And they started to walk us down like really, really bad. So then Geno Stone got that pick, kind of swayed the momentum back in our direction. Turnovers. This game, just like last week against the Browns, is going to come down to who turns the ball over in the second half. Someone's going to have a turnover in the second half. But whichever team has more turnovers in the second half will lose the game. We'll lose the game. Like I said, again, there will be a turnover in this game in the second half. Excuse me. Either a fumble or an interception will happen in the second half of tonight's Thursday Night Football matchup. The beneficiary of that turnover will win the game. Simple as that. That's my prediction. Let me see what you guys are saying. Thea Pin of the Force says, "Are you going to the game?" No, I am not going to the game, ladies and gentlemen. Alex, our good friend Alex, Simply AS10, he is going to the game. Therefore, no live episode tonight, starting at 6. That's why I'm kind of on here now. I want to kind of get my thoughts out before the game, give my keys to victory, my score predictions. Like I said, I think it's going to be 29-20 Ravens. That's my score prediction. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good game regardless. AFC North matchup. Finally, we get, excuse me, damn, we get a good matchup on Thursday Night Football. We are not used to this. I don't think we've gotten one really good matchup on a Thursday Night Football game this year so far, and we're in what, week 11, right? So yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. And to the rest of the league, you're welcome for the Ravens and the Bengals putting on the show that they're about to put on for you guys tonight and actually making you want to watch Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, right? So 22 people watching live right now. Thank you guys so much. Again, I'm just doing a pregame live stream thoughts on the Ravens versus Bengals game tonight, starting at 8. Make sure you guys tune in, of course. Thea Pin of the Force says Jackson 5 tonight. Jackson 5, man. A part of me feels like the days of the Jackson 5 is just long gone, right? And am I wrong to say that, chat? Like, does it feel like the days of Lamar Jackson throwing 5 touchdown passes in a game are still among us? Because it doesn't to me. We're lucky if we get 2. You know what I mean? We're lucky if we get 2 touchdown passes. That's just how it's been for the past, I'd say, 2 years now, right? really just not getting a whole lot of touchdown passes. And, that's in large part because Lamar Jackson and that offense are able to get us all the way down to goal to go situations, and we punch it in with our running backs, or we punch it in with Lamar Jackson. 5 total is possible. Yeah, 5 total touchdowns I can say is possible, but even still, man, this Ravens offense just has too many weapons, and now with the addition of Keaton Mitchell, the red zone is going to be more for the playmakers not named Lamar Jackson. I think Keaton Mitchell will start to take away some of Lamar Jackson's red zone snaps. Gus Edwards, of course, already does to a large degree. Um, we still have Mark Andrews, who's going to be floating around out there. He's going to be looking for the football. So, but 5 total is definitely possible. Definitely possible. Roosh, what's going on, brother? Says, what's good, Rain Gang? Something looking clean. Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Just getting off of work. Checking in with the Rain Gang, seeing what you guys are saying for this game tonight. What are we thinking? Can I get some bold predictions? Can I get some bold predictions down below in the chat? That's what I want to know. Who do you guys think is going off tonight? Who's not going to go off tonight? Who wins in emphatic fashion? What's going to happen? Let me know. Let me get some water because I got a fucking throat issue. Okay. We good. All right. 2 Marcus Williams picks. That's crazy. That's a bold prediction. But it's crazy. Because two picks from Marcus Williams would be, it's just, the guy's got one arm. Guy's playing with one arm right now. And it's evident. It's evident. And I think that arm, or no, that pec, because he was dealing with a pec, I think it gets worse throughout the game. And you might be thinking, like, well, duh, yeah, he's playing football for a couple hours. It is, of course, it's going to get worse. Yeah, so he doesn't need to be out there. The guy's not, I don't even think he's 60%. It kind of feels like he's forcing himself out there, and the Ravens are forcing him out there, and he needs to be out there. He could have sat from when he got hurt originally to now, and I would have been satisfied. Why? Because Geno Stone is taking that step up. It's next man up. It's next man up. And when the injured man comes back, he can work his way back. But if his replacement was actually performing and doing really well, then you let him stay there. You let that replacement, you let that backup stay in that role, kind of develop a little bit more. It gives you that time. We're blessed. We're very, very lucky as Ravens. Maybe it isn't the first drive that we see a Keaton Mitchell on the field, but I don't know. We'll see. Let me see. Subset and check on each other. Yes, sir. Mayo's COD channel. Appreciate you for coming through. It is lagging. Sorry about that, Kareem. I think I might be going through like a bad area. Mod Roosh says Mandrews goes for 100 yards receiving. So last week, I put in a bet, right, as a part of a parlay. And that parlay had Keaton Mitchell to get 35 yards rushing. Or no, 25 yards. It was Keaton Mitchell to get 25 yards rushing, Rashad Bateman to get 25 yards receiving, and then Mark Andrews to get 4 catches. Mark Andrews finished the game with 2 catches. Okay? He had 1 catch on the first drive, and there was just radio silence from him all the way up until like midway through the 4th quarter. Okay? It was bad. What it made me think was that in divisional matchups, since teams know us so well and know what we like to do, know what Lamar wants to do with the football, and really, knows Mark Andrews really well too, knows where he likes to be on the field, knows how he likes to scramble around, things like that. For that reason, we maybe stay away from Mark Andrews a little bit more. I don't know. We try to spread it out, right? Maybe that's why Odell was able to get a little bit more open on that play, on that touchdown last week. Because it just doesn't make any sense to me how in the, Cardinals game, he's got, 9 catches or something like that? And then he gets 2 catches in the game after that against the Browns. So I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical on Mark Andrews tonight. I'm not going to lie, because it's another divisional matchup. I know he didn't have a big game last week, so he might be trying to bounce back and make amends for that. Who knows? But I'm staying away from, when it comes to betting at least. I hope Mark Andrews gets 100 plus yards when it comes to the game, but when it comes to betting, I'll probably take his under, whatever it is. To be honest with you, bold predictions. Bold predictions. You almost never see Lamar get those easy walk-in touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, at this point, teams are always going to have somebody on the field, on the defense, of course, that accounts for Lamar Jackson, especially within, you know, the red zone, I'd say. So let's see what else you guys are saying. Simply as 10 is in the house. What's going on, Alex? Appreciate you for coming through. Like I was telling y'all earlier, Alex is actually going to be at the game tonight. So, big shout out to him. I know he's going to be bringing the energy with the rest of the bank. So, yeah, definitely represent for us, bro. And, oh, yeah, I'm posting that parlay, too. I'm posting that parlay on my Twitter, at Sutton Def. I'm posting the Ravens parlay probably within the next hour. Before 5. Before 5 o'clock, I will be posting my Sutton Safe Bet parlay on the Ravens game. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Sutton Def, and I will drop that for you. We've hit, 4 out of the last 5 weeks on that. So, hey, if you want to win some money, or at least have a chance to, get with me. Devin Singletary put 150 on the Bengals. If we don't put up 200 as a whole, I will be pissed, as will I. Kareem. Yeah, I mean, it needs to be one of those 150 plus yards rushing games, to be honest. We need to run them out of our stadium. That's really what it comes down to. And I think we can do that. I think that both teams coming in off of a loss, both teams coming in on a short week, that's tough for both teams. We have the advantage because I think we have the advantage because we're playing at home, so the energy and the adrenaline, I feel like, will be more with the Ravens throughout the game as opposed to the Bengals. And hey, you could have said the same thing last week, but these are different circumstances. Playing on Thursday Night Football, a short week. One of these teams is going to gas. My guess is it'll be the Bengals before the Ravens. That's just me. Hopefully, the Ravens don't pull the same thing that they pulled last week, because if they do, I got smoke for John Harbaugh. And the only reason I got smoke for Harbaugh is because this is nothing new. It's nothing new. Like we fix problem after problem, like fill hole after hole, need after need, but we still have the same issue of blowing leads late and losing football games. It's just, that's indicative of a coaching problem when it's been consistent over the last damn near decade, right? So that's really all it is when it comes to that. Can we talk about Tucker's kicking issues this year? Yeah, I mean, we can. Tucker is getting up there in age, been kicking with us for about a decade now, like over a decade. So, yeah, man, and I can't even really say, I mean, his kicking issues have been really that bad. I just think he's probably made a little bit of a natural regression to where he would normally be as the GOAT kicker, right? I mean, I don't really have too much of an issue with Justin Tucker. I still trust his leg over any other kickers in the league. That's just me. Let's see what else you guys are saying in here. So we had the manager goes for 100 yards. 26-23 Ravens. Okay, so Rico's predicting it's going to be a close game. J Prime 235, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you for coming through, listening in. Yeah, y'all, it's gonna be a very close game. Now I know we're not gonna have Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey was doubtful, but doubtful just means out. It's just a precursor for saying that a player is going to be. So no Marlon Humphrey, which means that Brandon Stevens will most likely be guarding Jamar Chase. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about? I feel like defenses don't shy away from a corner like Brandon Stevens. You shy away from like a Marlon Humphrey. You shy away from some of these other top corners in the league, Jalen Ramsey of the world, what have you. But Brandon Stevens is a little bit lesser known corner, so offensive coordinators, they'll target him. Quarterbacks, they'll target him. And, that in turn presents opportunities for Brandon Stevens to get pass breakups and things like that. And he's been doing it. He's been doing it this season. Going against the Jamar Chase, and I do think it's notable. Jamar Chase is not 100% healthy himself. It's going to be a very interesting matchup, and I do see Jamar Chase getting the better of Brandon Stevens a couple of times. I do see that, maybe even for a touchdown. Just being honest, but if we can keep Jamar Chase at least somewhat bracketed, again, no T Higgins playing tonight. Um, if we can keep Jamar Chase somewhat bracketed, give Brandon Stevens some over the top help, whether that means Stone shadows over there or Kyle Hamilton, even though I'd rather it be Geno Stone, because I feel like they're going to use Kyle Hamilton all over the field as they normally would. That needs to happen. Let's see. Trey Biz has not allowed a touchdown in like 247 snaps. Yeah. I heard about that. I think I saw that on PFF earlier today. Like I said, I mean, he benefits from the opportunities. Guys are going at him. So he's benefiting from those opportunities. He's making the most of them. So shout out to Brandon Stevens. He's going to get a real test tonight. A real test. Let's see. Rico says barbecue chicken alert. And see, Kareem was saying the same thing I said. Yeah, you got to throw a safety over there. Throw a safety over the top of Jamar Chase and company, because if you don't, it's going to be trouble. So, yeah, and then another thing, Ronnie Stanley. No Ronnie Stanley tonight. So I'm assuming we're going to have Makari go from where he was playing on the right side last week and just flop to the left, and he'll be playing left tackle. That should be okay, right? Makari, normally he's up and down. Like he'll be subbing in for somebody, like one of the tackles or something like that, and you'll just be like, damn, like I really don't know what that's going to look like. Is Lamar going to be under constant duress from that side or what? And then he just does really well out of nowhere. And then you go into the next week and you're like, okay, he played well last week, so we should be good to go at left tackle or right tackle or whatever it is at the time. And then you see he turns into a turnstile. Not a complete turnstile, but he doesn't look like he's suitable for the job anymore. This all of a sudden. That happens with Patrick McCarthy. For me at least, for my eye test when I watch the game. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel when I'm watching Patrick McCarthy sometimes. But, hopefully he, locks down that left side to the best of his abilities. We're getting Morgan Moses back after, I think, 2 weeks out. That should be good. He's been practicing in full. So, yeah, hopefully they can keep Lamar Jackson clean. That's what needs to happen. Terry says, want to see Lamar hit that deep ball. Me too. But in order for Lamar Jackson to hit that deep ball, he's going to need a good foundation of protection and confidence from his offensive line. Because I'll tell you one thing, like when a quarterback knows that his offensive line is getting beat consistently, it does not give him confidence to stand in that pocket, look down the field, and deliver a strike to one of his receivers. It just doesn't. His eyes are always coming down instead of looking downfield. You want the quarterback's eyes to be looking over the line of scrimmage's helmets, the lineman's helmets. That's what you want. You don't want his helmet to be facing down, looking at who's getting in his face, things like you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. Trust me, Terry, I want the deep ball to hit too. And, Lamar Jackson, I will say he's had some relatively clean pockets where he's thrown the deep ball and he just missed it. And this week in the presser, he said, oh, yeah, he says what he always says. He said, oh, we always hit those in practice and we just got to translate it to the game. It's like, okay, bro, we've been hearing that for the past 2-3 seasons, I feel like we should be getting a couple more connections on that deep ball. I want to see one to either Bateman or Zay Flowers. I feel like we don't get Zay Flowers downfield nearly enough. Hopefully we see some of that. What happened to Jalen Armour Davis? Is he still hurt? I believe he is still hurt. And if not, yeah, I think he is still hurt. The last time I heard of him, I don't think he was a healthy scratch in any of these games. I could be wrong, though. Somebody verify in the chat. Okay. What else we got here? I'll take one more question here before I go ahead and get out of you guys' hair. I feel like a lot of his kicking issues is the kicks getting blocked from teams blowing through the line, says Kogan. And, I can kind of agree with that. There's been some wayward kicks too, but I can kind of agree with that. Yeah. He's still the GOAT. Still the GOAT, though. Listen, guys, make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the Purple Rain podcast as well. Like I said, no live episode tonight as our guy Simply AS10 will be going to the game. So hopefully he supports us. He represents. I know he's going to bring the energy. Like I said, Kareem says, damn, son, how far is your job? Bro, yeah. I've been driving for about 30 minutes, huh? Yeah, my job is about an hour away from where I live, guys. So honestly, I could do this every day for y'all, for us, hop on live and just kind of talk to you guys on my way home. Like I said, I plan on doing a morning show, starting a morning show that it'll be live from probably the hours of like 6 to 7 or 6:30 to 7:30, somewhere in that window, AM, of course, and that'll be available to listen to afterwards on YouTube or whatever platform we decide to put it on. But that should be good. That should be coming soon. It's in the works, guys. For now, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to go ahead and pick up something to eat for dinner, right? So, what happened to the UFC show? I had a partner for that, and we never really, went through with making more episodes, but I do need to make some more UFC episodes. There's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of movement in the heavyweight division that I like so far, welterweight, middleweight as well. Jordan Ye says, please do that, Sutton. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'm going to definitely do that. I'm definitely going to do that. And I appreciate you guys' feedback and input. And I appreciate everything, just all support that you guys give me, Alex, the channel over all these years. And if it's your first time or first couple times listening to me, thank you. You could literally be anywhere else listening to anything else, but you're here listening to me and Alex talk about football and sports and Ravens. So we appreciate it. Make sure you guys like the videos. Subscribe to the channels. It says I don't normally watch the lives, but I'm really enjoying this. Yeah. And again, I appreciate you guys and go Ravens. I'm predicting 29-20 tonight. My bold prediction for the game. My bold prediction before I get out of here. My bold prediction for the game. Give me Bateman. Give me Bateman 4 catches, 50 plus yards, and a touchdown. That's my bold prediction for this game. Hit the like on your way out, like my guy Rico says. 37-17 says Jabari Cruz Ellis. Please do not sit Mitchell coaches. Let him cook. Exactly. Those are keys to victory. I appreciate you guys again. Love y'all, Rain Gang. Like the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.